It is another episode of Health Options, the program that not only tracks government policies on health, but helps you with the information to make informed choices about your health. Many thanks for joining us. I am Rabi, Abdallah. Natural medicine, also referred to as naturopathy, is a form of alternative medicine which involves homeopathy, herbalism, acupuncture, diet and lifestyle, counseling, and many more. Natural medicine can be simply defined as any system of medicine that complements and enhances the body's natural capacity to heal by restoring balance without the use of synthetic drugs or chemicals. Plants have been used as a primary source of medicine since ancient times, and about 80% of the world's population use herbal medicine to treat different ailments. That's our focus on this episode of Health Options, and we're going to beam our searchlight on Nigeria's natural medicine potential and how it can be harnessed and maximized for the health benefits of the populace as well as wealth creation. You will get to meet my guest in just a moment. If you're just joining us, this is Health Options, and we're looking at traditional medicine, specifically on harnessing Nigeria's natural medicine for health and wealth creation. I am now being joined by the Director General, Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency, Professor Martins Emeje. Good to see you, Prof.
Thank you. Good to see you too. And to you and to our viewers. Okay. And to the NTA family.
Okay. Welcome to Health Options.
Thank you.
So we're looking at natural medicine. You know, Africa Traditional Medicine Week is here again, and a whole lot of issues have been trending around that. And I just said I love the momentum this time around. I must say, you know, I hope we sustain it because the country needs this at this point in time. If we're still talking about the drive at universal health coverage. So let's begin with first and first. You know, I get to hear traditional medicine, natural medicine, set it in perspective so that we really know when we say this is natural medicine, what exactly are we talking about before we come down to what you do vis-a-vis you being at the helm of an agency that has to do with natural medicine development.
Okay. Thank you very much, and I'm glad that you have sought for this clarification, because one of the problems that we are having currently is the misconception or not knowing exactly what we are talking about. There's a difference between natural medicine and herbal medicine. And we have a lot of terminologies that we use for all of these things. You hear of herbal medicine, dietary supplements, nutraceuticals, phytomedicines, traditional medicine, natural medicine, and all of that. Now, to define them in specific terms, traditional medicine has to do with the medicine and the healthcare services, procedure, and products that people use in a particular culture. It has to do with the cultural heritage of the people. It is specific to these people. It is not something that is universal. It's not something you can take from that culture to another culture. In other words, the way a group of people or a particular set of people in a community or in a village or in a country use their cultural, what is available culturally to them to heal diseases, to treat ailments. That is what is called traditional medicine. Key to this is that it is the cultural heritage of the people in that environment. So if we take Abuja, where you are, for example, it is possible to have different healing methods in Abuja depending on the part of Abuja where that healing method is operational and is effective. So the people of Osafa in Abuja, they could have a method.
Ushafa. The name is Ushafa. Point of correction,
Okay.
Prof. Ushafa.
Okay. They could have a method, thank you, but they could have a method of treating malaria that is peculiar to them. And that method is not useful or effective in Idu or Jiwa in the same Abuja. That is traditional medicine. So that it is not useful or effective in Jiwa does not mean that it is not good. Because for the Oshafa people, it is their cultural heritage. It is the way their people in centuries ago have been taking care of themselves when it comes to this particular disease. So that is traditional medicine.
Okay.
But then in traditional medicine, there are many things that are used in traditional medicine, including religious processes. You know, when you hear of spiritism, consulting the ancestors, or convoking spirits to come and act, all of those things, they are cultural to the people. In the traditional medicine, for example, one of the key elements of traditional medicine is the use of plants and minerals and animals. So you will see, if you go to our traditional medical practitioners in our villages, in our remote villages, or towns anyway, you will see them use parts of some animals, elephants, tortoise, lizard, snail, and all of that, as components of their healing arts. You will see them use different types of plants, bitter leaf, and moringa, parsley, different plants that are also components of the products they administer in the environment.
Okay, so let's go to what your agency does now, because we know that we have issue of out-of-pocket spending is high in the country. We're driving at universal health coverage. We know that healthcare does not come cheap, but we know the gap that could be closed when medicine becomes affordable, accessible, and what do you call it now, and available. So that's why I'm taking you up on what your agency does. Because if you ask me, I know the potential that lies there for us as a nation. That's why I'm taking you up. Can you let us into it before we...
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Now, the agency is responsible for three things. When I tell people, I try to put it to encompass it, encapsulate it in three different areas. One is research and development. That is research and development of indigenous medicines. All our plants, animals, minerals, including marine life. That is how to harness our abundant natural plants, animals, minerals, soil, and develop medicines from these sources for our people to use. You know, our people are already using medicines from plants, from animals, from soil, from the river, from marine. They are already using. But what they are using is localized to their environments. So we are not benefiting as a nation. Communities are benefiting. So it is underutilization of our own resources. You know, it's like if we did not exploit crude oil in the Niger Delta, that is what we are suffering in our indigenous medicine right now. Because government has not focused on how to harness or exploit our indigenous resources, the utilization is very poor, very low because only communities are doing it in their own environment. So that is what research and development is supposed to come and do. We are to escalate this so that it becomes national assets, because it is look, the prediction, it is estimated that the herbal industry alone is worth 5.6 trillion US dollars in the next 12 to 15 years. 5.6 trillion US dollars. In the next 7 years, okay, let me bring it down home. In the next 7 years, which is very close to us now, the next 7 years, it is estimated to bring in to countries that are serious with the development of their indigenous medicine 349 billion US dollars. So imagine now that Africa is opening itself to become like one country where remember the ACTA, where Africa is going to be borderless now, where free trade. If we do not harness our own huge indigenous biomass, what are we taking into ACTA? What are we taking there? So research and development, one component. And in this research and development, I have only touched on plants, animals, soil, and minerals. The other component of the research and development, we call it the non-medication healing arts and technologies. See, when I was a young boy in my village, white people, that is people from Oyibo land, they were coming to my village called Agaliga to come and repair their broken bone. It is called bone setting. We have that technology that we can use for our health here and to export. And in the 1980s, when I was in, white people were coming to our village. As I'm talking to you, in Imo State, Imo State is well known for bone setting. So that is part of our mandate. That is R&D. Number two is the traditional medicine itself, promoting to ensure that we document, we preserve, we conserve, we promote, and we teach traditional medicine such that our history is preserved, our history is taught, and our history is documented in a way that it becomes useful to us.
Knowledge transfer.
Now, you know, when we talk about the Asians and we mount and we praise their indigenous medicine or traditional medicine, it is because it's well documented. Our own is one of the greatest gaps is the lack of documentation. So it's a huge mandate that we have, and we are embarking on that with like yesterday to document, and we have agreement with all our traditional medical practitioners. They were here this last week during the celebration of the African Traditional Medicine Day, and we have agreed that there's a need for us to begin immediately speedy, expedited documentation of all of this. So documentation. Then number three is the education, teaching. So my agency has an approved College of Traditional Medicine, because the act of the National Assembly that established my agency says that you are hereby allowed to establish a College of Medicine where you teach all of this. So we already have approval from the Federal Ministry of Education, accredited by the National Board for Technical Education, for teaching an award of national diploma in natural medicine. So these are the three broad areas that our mandate cover. So, and I quickly say this, that in terms of mandate, therefore, Nigeria has done excellently well by creating the Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency and backed it by law.
Okay, let's talk about acceptance now. You know, acceptability is an issue, and I think it spans from the fact that you have, you know, I don't know how to put in a proliferation of a lot of people making claims of having cure for this. You have a lot of Baba Aisha out there, and you know, hawking, you know, herbal medicines and all of that, and you know how that has really, you know, affected the psyche of consumers. What should be done to really sanitize that in such a way that people's confidence can be built, so that as you are doing what is needful as experts and as an agency that has you know, the backing of the law, what should be done so that the narrative can change? Okay.
Anything being hawked, if they are hawking traditional medicine, you are not supposed to patronize it. If they are hawking imported medicine, you are not supposed to patronize it.
Okay.
So it's not because it's traditional medicine, because all the problems that we have in our health sector today is not as a result of traditional medicine or herbal medicine. In fact, it is as a result of importation of drugs to our country. Because right now, we import 100% our drugs. We need to change the strategy now. And we are not changing strategy. That is why we are shouting. That is why those of us in this area are shouting that it is because we are dependent on these people. That is why we are not making any headway. Therefore, nobody should say that because there is we need to go and do those, we have gone beyond those. Those is not a problem. Standardization is not a problem in herbal medicine. We have standard products. There's huge importation of herbal products into Nigeria. So who is telling us that standardization and dose is a problem when we are busy importing the one from China and the one from India? We should do our own, and that is what we are saying we can do, and we are ready to do if we are given the necessary support that we are supposed to be given. Because a lot of us who are not doing, we know, but we are not doing because we want to do buying and selling. Because buying and selling is the easiest, the quickest, and the lazy man's approach to getting rich in this country.
Let me ask you this question, Prof. You know, I had asked questions before. I said, how comes we have abundant resources, the raw materials and all of that that could be used as active pharmaceutical ingredients in this country, yet we rather import drugs into the country? And some people in that subsector had told me that it is cheaper to manufacture, it is cheaper to import than to manufacture such drugs in the country. And they gave factors such as epileptic power supply and some other reasons anyway. So is that the same thing?
See, I was national chairman of academic pharmacists in Nigeria, all pharmacists who teach in Nigerian universities and research institutes. And that study has been carried out, and I know. I have practical example, and I've said this severally on NTA, that to make, by the time ampicillin, cloxacillin granules ready for reconstruction is ready in Nigeria, if it is produced here, that it will be 5 times costlier than the same finished product imported from India. But that is not the issue. You see, there are many things that affect, that should make people take decisions. The people who are telling us that it is cheaper to import than to make here. Yes, it is true. But the fact that it's true, does it make it right?
No.
Don't we know what we should do? We know what should be done. So the fact that it is when you look at only cost, yes. But what about medicine security?
Yeah.
What about the security of our people? What about even national pride? If we love our country, shouldn't we be saying this one is made in Nigeria? All the countries in the do you know that countries that make their own things, they make their own things even though they are costlier, but they make it because of national pride and security of their country.
Okay.
So let nobody tell us about price alone.
So on that note, what do we need to do when it comes to, going the extra mile to make sure that we produce and consume our own medicine?
Very good. To do that is simply prioritization of R&D as a nation.
Okay.
Right now, R&D is not a priority. It is not a priority. You see, I call on Mr. President to please extend the declaration of emergency on food security to indigenous medicine. And this is my reason. The difference between indigenous medicine and imported medicine is that our indigenous medicine, the foundation for indigenous medicine is agriculture. And right now, we have a researcher as a Minister of State for Agriculture, Rabi Abdallah. See, the president should extend that declaration to indigenous medicine, because it is agriculture that is our foundation for making indigenous medicine.
Okay.
Because once you see, as president has declared this emergency in food security, he is now putting resources into that place. That resources will be better utilized if you extend it to medicine, so that as agricultural productivity is increasing, our raw materials for making indigenous medicine will also increase, and the president will have an eye on the Nigerian Natural Medicine Development Agency to produce all the necessary medicines, because there's no medicine for any disease in Nigeria that we cannot produce.
On a final note, give us some products that Nigerians should look forward to, because we're talking about medicine security.
I have discussed with my minister, and we have agreed that he is going to come with Mr. President to come and launch at least 6 of our products, which we started working on them three months ago, and in the next 6 months they will be ready for Mr. President to come and launch it in Lagos.
Wow.
In Lagos, yeah. Erectile dysfunction, arthritis, diabetes, malaria, hypertension, sickle cell. Wow. We are getting ready to launch those products, and we shall do them, and everybody will know that Nigeria, we are not playing.
I'm excited to hear that, Prof. And I'm sure Nigerians look forward to that, because that would no doubt translate to medicine availability, affordability, and accessibility. So we wish you all the best.
Nobody should criminalize traditional medicine. Nobody. There's traditional medicine in all parts of the world. People are using their own and developing.
The Asians, the Indians. Okay, thank you so much, Prof, for joining us on Health Options.
Thank you.
I'm sure we look forward to the launch of those products. I'm sure Nigerians will be excited to see those ones come on board. Thank you so much for joining us and for your insights.
Thank you very much.
Okay. This is where we end this episode of Health Options. A quick reminder that you can go to our YouTube channel to watch the upload of these and other episodes of the program. I am Rabi Abdallah. Thanks for your time. Hope to see you again.